And we're going to see more of that, I'm sure, in this fight that Baldoni has against the New York Times as to whether or not the reporter privilege should apply.
Well, Blake is the bigger of the two stars. She's the big Hollywood actress that people might instantly recognize.
Praising Blake Lively, who at that very moment was being destroyed on social media over reports of a power struggle with her director.
Team Blake was trying to basically ask for like 2.5 years worth of cell phone records, everything, location, all this data, which felt very invasive.
The legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has escalated into one of the most intense Hollywood showdowns of the decade. What began as an industry feud has spiraled into a high-stakes conflict, with Lively and her team working tirelessly to control the narrative. However, Baldoni has just thrown a major wrench into their plans. New evidence has surfaced, and influential Hollywood figures are now stepping into the fray, leaving Lively's team scrambling to maintain their footing. As Baldoni gains momentum, it appears that Lively is officially in full panic mode.
Placating Blake Lively make her feel good so she'll promote the movie. And on what Wayfair side, they're like, yeah, don't admit to any of this. The demands included there is to be no spontaneous improvising of any scenes involving physical touching, simulated sex, or nudity with respect to the artist. Physical touching and or comments on artist's physical appearance must only be done made in connection with the character and scene work, not as to artist personally, and there are to be no discussions with artists or personal experiences with sex or nudity, including as it relates to conduct with spouses or others, according to Lively's amended complaint. The demands also included Sony agreed to send Giannetti to the set and hiring an A-list veteran producer to aid Lively and represent the studio. Todd Black was later hired.
If Blake Lively thought she could control the press, she was completely mistaken. In a major legal ruling, the court has sided with the New York Times in Justin Baldoni's defamation lawsuit, shifting the dynamics of the case entirely. This decision suggests that Lively's attempts to suppress information may not hold up in court, dealing a significant blow to her legal strategy. It also marks a major victory for Baldoni, reinforcing that media outlets will not back down from reporting the truth. For Lively, this ruling threatens to unravel the foundation of her entire legal approach.
And we're going to see more of that, I'm sure, in this fight that Baldoni has against the New York Times as to whether or not the reporter privilege should apply. And so that's going to be kind of an interesting argument. So then the third ground that the court used to stay discovery is finally the Wayfair parties are unlikely to be unfairly prejudiced by a stay while the court decides the pending motion. So in other words, hey, it's not going to take that long. The court intends to address the motion promptly after it is fully submitted, which means once Baldoni responds to it, that's when it's fully submitted and the court can decide. And if the Wayfair parties want to speed this up, they can accelerate their contemplated further amended complaint or their opposition to the motion to dismiss. In other words, hey, if you want to speed this up, file your response to the motion to dismiss sooner, or get your amended complaint on file sooner. Either way, up to you.
What happened here, and there's a lot of sympathy coming towards Justin Baldoni. Now, let's see the evidence. I mean, that's the key here. Show the evidence, give it to the jury. Again, jury trials are about credibility. Who's most credible here? Who's telling the truth? Who can you count on being honest with you with the exhibits that they put in front of you and explain to you what those exhibits are? And if you're honest with the jury, you can go a long way with that.
Now, what happens if we have evidence of timestamps on these photos with the New York Times? Because we have the metadata, it shows that something happened. But let's just say that the court doesn't allow us to get any more information from the Times because of this reporter privilege, and all we have is the metadata that we can extract from the online photos. Can that still be used in time of trial?
I don't know if the metadata can be used. It is possible.
One of the biggest shocks in this unfolding saga is Brandon Sanart's unexpected shift in allegiance. Once seen as a strong supporter of Blake Lively, Sanart has now begun distancing himself from her and showing increasing support for Justin Baldoni. Fans were stunned by this sudden change, especially given his previous defense of Lively. Such a dramatic shift rarely happens without reason, leaving many to wonder what Senart has discovered that prompted him to walk away from Lively's camp.
Most recently, in December, he linked to the New York Times article that exposed Justin Baldoni and all of the awful things he allegedly did on set of their movie It Ends With Us. But fast forward now to March of 2025, and December seems like a lifetime ago. As I told you yesterday, Brandon here, who also stars on the TV show 1923, was asked about all the Plantation Princess drama on the red carpet of the Vanity Fair Oscar party, and he did not defend her. He gave a very canned response about keeping the focus on the subject matter of the film. The subject matter of the film, which he did not discuss while promoting it originally. This guy refused to take any pictures with Justin Baldoni. And this is not speculation, it is confirmed. He posted a photo of himself on the red carpet at the Vanity Fair party on his feed, and he captioned it, Vanity Fair at Long Live the Brooch. Or is it Brooch? Brooch? Brooch. The brooch. Brooch. The brooch. The brooch. The brooch. Long live the brooch. So, is he wearing this brooch in solidarity with his bro? This brooch has no significance to DB. To my understanding, it is just a piece of jewelry.
This legal battle has evolved beyond just Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It has become a full-blown Hollywood scandal. Major media outlets, including the BBC World Service, have now covered the unfolding chaos, signaling just how much attention this case is receiving. With Hollywood watching closely, the stakes have never been higher, and Lively's reputation hangs in the balance.
Well, Blake is the bigger of the two stars. She's the big Hollywood actress that people might instantly recognise. Obviously, she rose to fame in Gossip Girl many years ago, but since then she's been in so many different films and TV programmes. And I suppose as well as her curated image that she has as an actress, she's also married to fellow actor Ryan Reynolds. They've got children together. They have this really well-curated brand. She is best friends with Taylor Swift. Anyone that was watching the Eras tour would have seen her and Ryan and their children at the tour and at some of the shows. So she is a really big star that has got powerful allies and huge online.
And she's always been seen as a bit of a golden girl as well.
Oh, she has.
Yeah.
If Blake Lively and her team believed they could manage this quietly, they were completely mistaken. Even Sony executives have weighed in, publicly criticizing the lawsuit and calling it a total disaster for everyone involved. When major industry players begin to distance themselves, it's never a good sign. And for Lively, it's becoming clear that her career may not be as untouchable as she once thought.
Crazy seeing Blake Lively, who at that very moment was being destroyed on social media over reports of a power struggle with her director and co-star Justin Baldoni and the way she promoted the movie. Notably, there was zero mention of Baldoni or his company, Wayfair Studios, which had brought on Sony to market and distribute their adaptation of Colin Hoover's best-selling novel about a woman caught up in an intertwining tale of new love and domestic abuse. So again, remember when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tried to write something for Justin Baldoni to read? I wonder if they wrote the Sony statement. Blake's passion and commitment to advancing the conversation around domestic violence is commendable. We love working with Blake and we want to do 12 more movies with her, said Vinci Cara, who has since retired.
In one of the most bizarre twists in this case, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have reportedly hired a former CIA agent to handle their public relations. Yes, a CIA agent. This unexpected move has raised eyebrows, as it seems like an extreme measure for a Hollywood legal battle. Instead of quieting the controversy, it's only fueling speculation that they may be hiding something big. Rather than easing tensions, this decision has only sparked more questions.
I am convinced by Justin's side. So I'm not saying that filing a complaint, if it's an earnest complaint, is a mistake. It doesn't matter what a mess you get yourself into if you're doing the right thing, if it's in furtherance of the truth. But in this instance, I don't know. I just get the sense that Blake didn't think this through and had no idea how far this was going to go. And now look at her. It's a mess. She's got an ex-CIA operative as a PR crisis manager. It's funny. She can hire a PR crisis manager. That's fine. But if Justin does it, it's not to protect himself, but it's to destroy her. The double standards. I can improvise kisses on the set. I can kiss you whenever I want and however many times I want, but when you do it, if we don't even have proof that we did it.
Just when Blake Lively thought she was regaining control, her legal team suffered another major setback. The court has denied her subpoenas against Baldoni, blocking her from accessing the private information she had hoped to use against him. This ruling marks another huge victory for Baldoni, while for Lively, it dismantles a key part of her case. Now, her legal team is scrambling to figure out their next move.
Team Blake was trying to basically ask for like 2.5 years worth of cell phone records, everything, location, all this data, which felt very evasive. Justin's team tried to squash them. Well, the judge has written back this long sort of information back, etc., but basically coming down to say, yes, Baldoni, you're right, we have squashed the subpoena, the reach was too big, and therefore they agreed that the ruling, they squashed the extent of seeking phone records of Wayfair. The ruling is without prejudice, live parties, several modified subpoena. They basically said, listen, it's ridiculous that you're asking for all this stuff because you're asking for 2.5 years, but you claim the retaliation started in August of this summer. So why on earth would you need all that time? That's the gist I got. Greg, can you elaborate from your legal perspective? Maybe I'm missing something. Blake complaining that they're invading the privacy, they're doing all this, but then meanwhile, right, she's on Saturday Night Live with Ryan making jokes, hitting back. I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look at her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
Yeah, well, I think this was the equivalent of a swing and a miss, right? I think they took a big, when they went for a home run, they take a big swing and they completely miss the ball. I think they're going to get sent back to the drawing board. This is not going to be the end. You're going to see that there's going to be more. In fact, the judge invites them to do more. But they're going to have to come and do actually some real legitimate discovery, which is what they should have done at the outset, which is tailor it to what they really think they need and start with a subgroup of what they could ask for and get that first and see if that makes it worse.
Just when Blake Lively thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Leaked text messages have surfaced, allegedly showing her making cringeworthy remarks about Justin Baldoni, including one bizarre comment about wanting her back cracked by him. These messages directly undermine the image she has been trying to maintain, and fans are not reacting well.
That Blake wanted that Baldoni back crack. When I tell you, Blake Lively wanted to give Justin Baldoni that Gawk 3000. Let me read you some of these text messages that are in the amended lawsuit that Justin Baldoni just filed. But as you guys know, they have a website. They didn't drop the whole thing. They didn't drop all the receipts, child. So last night, for the first time, I finally watched this. Yo, I was looking for all this domestic violence. I was waiting for her to get her ass beat. I mean, I'm looking for some Ike and Tina up in here. I couldn't figure out, like, I don't know. Let me see this one. That sound like a biatch to me. So, or bottom. I don't know. But let's read what these texts say. And again, this is allegedly from Blake Lively. So talking about the rooftop scene, she wants to take a pass and rewrite. And he's like, yes, like, I'm excited, blah, blah, blah. This is what she said. This is what, like, they're going back and forth. I don't want to do all the details. Like, it's going to take too long. But let me get into this. This is what she was. I could send you my parents at the room, or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer with a week.
Blake Lively isn't the only one in crisis. Her legal team is struggling to keep things together. Experts now argue that their missteps have turned this into one of the most chaotic cases in Hollywood history. With one poor decision after another, Lively's case is crumbling faster than anyone expected.
I'm going to keep this all in because, I amuse myself. Jamie Keith is his producing partner's name, and in her complaint, she alleged that Jamie Keith showed her rhymes of corn. Inappropriate MUVE video. And Ryan Reynolds' wife also made it seem like it was a repeat occurrence, meaning happened on multiple occasions. In fact, you might remember that list of demands that she had to come back to film after the writer's strike. One of them included, quote, no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to Blake Lively and or her employees. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm very familiar with the legal system.
Social media is erupting with criticism over Blake Lively's legal tactics, with some fans claiming she's being exposed in real time. One viral moment featured a streamer doing a 12-hour live stream pretending to be Lively, mocking the absurdity of the situation. The internet is clearly not on her side anymore, and her public image is taking a serious hit.
Got it. 20 minutes. And that's starting now.
Thanks. What did you just do?
I just took a photo. I do yearbook. It's just parents and kids and just casual stuff.
Delete it.
What?
Delete the photo. I told you not to take any photos of me.
But you look good. You look very elegant and your outfit looks amazing.
Delete it now.
Amazing profile. Are you being serious?
You see this bracelet that you made me? Remember this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the oven and bake it.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds may have tried to control the narrative, but Justin Baldoni has completely shifted the game with major legal victories. Supporters have turned against her, and Hollywood executives are calling the case a disaster. With options running out, the real question now is just how much worse things will get for Lively.
Two main elements to the filing, and the first are actually allegations of sexual harassment. What is it that she is alleging?
So she's made claims against Mr. Baldoni and the lead producer on the film of repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behaviour. Now, in more detail, these allegations relate to things like his discussion of his pornography addiction, his discussion of his genitalia, and entering her trailer uninvited, including when she was undressed or breastfeeding. They have categorically denied that there was any sexual harassment on set.
And then there was this meeting, this reported meeting, in which she made a list of demands, we understand, that she wanted fulfilled before she continued shooting the movie. I mean, what were those demands?
In January, when they were shooting the film, she called a meeting to address this hostile work environment, as she calls it. And that meeting included executives, but it also included her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
With Justin Baldoni continuing to gain legal momentum, this case is far from over. However, one thing is clear. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are officially in full panic mode.